this is your first time here, then hi, my name is Lauren, and on my channel we mostly talk about anything luxury, but we also discuss lifestyle and beauty. So if you're interested in any of these topics, please consider subscribing to my channel, and we'll get started with the video. So in today's video, I'm presenting you a 1-year review of my Dior Booktote in size medium. So if you're interested in finding out more about the pros and cons and the wear and tear, then please keep on watching. So as you can guess from the title, I've gotten this bag about a year ago. By the way, if you are interested in seeing the unboxing of this particular bag and hearing my first impressions of it, then I will go ahead and leave the link of the video and the little information link over here for you to see it. I was very happy to unbox this bag. Believe it or not, this bag was actually my first ever Dior handbag, and I'm still very happy about it today. So let's dive into the pros. The first thing that I can tell you about it is the structure of this bag is quite amazing. That is a gigantic pro for me because I really like structured handbags. For me, I can't deal with a bag being slouchy, being kind of like wrinkly. I don't like this. It's just not a good look. I feel like it makes it look old really quickly, and that's not something that I like for my bags. So this one is amazing at holding it structured. Even without a bag organizer, you could basically leave it like this on a shelf or something, and it would stay the same, completely intact. So that's something that I love about this handbag. The next pro that I want to talk to you about is the price. And for me, I've actually included this in the pro section, but I feel like I've heard a lot of people complain about the price. So the current price of this particular handbag is $3,350 plus tax. And of course, it's not a leather bag. Of course, that's for sure. So when you think about it, for a non-leather bag, it's not cheap. But I mean, in my mind, it's not that expensive. I mean, it's not like prohibitively expensive. It's not something where I feel like I would have a problem paying that much. It seems like a normal price for a Dior handbag. I mean, you're not gonna have it for $2,000, So for me, the price for this type of handbag for the brand is still very reasonable. And it's also not something where I'm like super duper careful about it. You know, the type of handbag where you've paid like $9,000 and then you're like, oh my god, what if something happens to it? That's not how I feel about this particular bag. I feel, very relaxed about taking it out. I feel relaxed about using it because the price hasn't been prohibitively expensive, so that's definitely a pro about this bag. Next up in the list of good things about this bag, we have the weight of the bag. So even though currently there's a bag organizer inside, it is so very light. I mean, usually when I'm holding a bag like for an extended period of time like this, when I talk about it, it's giving me an arm workout, but right now I feel like I could hold this for like a couple of hours and I would feel nothing. I really like the fact that this bag, even though it is quite large, it is still very lightweight. I actually did a video a couple of months ago comparing this bag, the Dior Booktote, and then the Chanel Deauville, and really the weight was something that I talked about quite at length in that video. Here the weight is very light. It feels like you have nothing on your hand or your shoulder. And then the Chanel Deauville, that wasn't the case at all. I felt like this bag was so heavy. It was just very inconvenient. By the way, if you are interested in seeing that video and kind of hearing me compare these two handbags and kind of, seeing my perspective on both of these, then I will go ahead and leave the link to that video in the little information link over here for you to see it. But I really love the weight of this Dior Booktote. For me, it's very light, it's very easy to carry, and it's just really nice feel on your hand. Next up, we have the versatility. And I really do feel like this is one of those handbags that could be used for about everything and anything. I feel like this would serve as an amazing everyday bag. Even, if you had to carry like a laptop or a couple of books or something like that, they could definitely fit inside. but it could also be used, you know, on occasions, to go out to the mall, for a day out in the city, to meet your friends at a restaurant, something like that. It could be used for traveling. This is a very, very good travel bag because it is quite roomy. It could also be used potentially as a diaper bag. It really looks good with any outfit because the colors are very kind of, you know, gray and white, very neutral colors. I feel like they work with any outfit. Personally, I wear a lot of black. So I felt like having this color scheme of white and gray worked out really nicely for me. But even if you love to wear bright colors, even if you love to have, like, you know, patterns on your clothes or something, I feel like this would complement any outfit very nicely. And while it is not necessarily a bag for every season, I feel like it could be used for at least, I would say, maybe 3 seasons. Definitely spring and summer, that's for sure. And then some nice days of the fall, you know, the early fall, and then maybe a couple of nice days here and there in the winter when it's really nice and sunny out. I feel like this bag can be used often and is very versatile, has different uses. So that's always good when you're looking at the usage of a bag. If you have had occasions to wear it, if it fits with your lifestyle, this one is definitely very easy to fit with any lifestyle and to fit with any type of personality. And the last thing that I will mention in the pro section of this bag is how roomy it is. This bag, as you can see, is super duper roomy. It really fits a lot. Like I've mentioned before, it can fit a laptop. Basically pretty much any laptop that you can think of will fit in this bag. It can fit books, it can fit, you know, would be great as a travel bag because any of your travel essentials would fit in there. It could be used as a diaper bag. All of the baby necessities would definitely fit in this. I've actually done a video about what fits in this bag, so I won't be showing you like what I put into it right now, but I've actually done a video on the subject, and I believe it was for like a day out in the city. So if you are interested in seeing what fits in this bag, then I will go ahead and leave that video in the little information link over here for you to see it. I mean, basically, like, I kept like taking out stuff off the handbag, and people were like, really? Is she not done? Is it still possible to have more stuff? And like I kept taking out more stuff. So there's definitely a lot that fits into this bag, even though it's very light to start with. So that's one of the things that I really love about it. Now moving on to the con section, and you will see it's actually fairly short. I don't have that many cons, but I feel like, you know, every and any bag probably has at least a few cons. And here it actually has to do with the wear and tear. So I've had the bag for about a year and I've worn it, I mean, it's hard to put like a, you know, a number of times, but maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think, maybe 20 times. That seems like something pretty accurate. So I've worn it 20 times and I have noticed, I'm not sure how to call it. Let's go with color transfer, but then let me explain. So I've noticed color transfer on the handles over here. So I've been very careful to avoid wearing this bag with, you know, dark denims, super dark fabric that I know will stain. So if you're looking at the back of the handbag over here, I feel like there's no signs whatsoever of color transfer. And that's something that I definitely appreciate about this bag. But then on the handles, especially on the top of the handles where I grabbed the bag, I feel like the color has changed and it went from maybe, it's not really white, it's maybe it went from like an off-white to probably beige / light yellow. And I feel like, you know, I have worn this bag most often in the summer, and it is probably due to the fact that in the summer my hands are sweaty, they are moist, they are warm, I've touched a bunch of things, and then, you know, I put my dirty hands on my handbag and it's not the best. So that's something that I wasn't really expecting. I was expecting the color transfer to be over here on the back of the handbag. And I've definitely been careful about that, but then here on top of the handles, that's not something that I was expecting. So that's definitely something to be mindful about if you're looking at acquiring this bag. Personally, I was pretty disappointed because, like I mentioned, I didn't expect it. By the way, do let me know in the comments down below if you have any recommendations, ways to avoid this problem, which are not to place a tulle over here. So I've actually thought about that. But I feel like there's so much happening in this bag here that having a tulle on top would feel a little weird. I feel like it wouldn't really look good because there's just so much like patterns and stuff that, you know, adding a tulle would look a little off unless the tulle was like solid. But can that even be findable? I don't even know. So yeah, do let me know in the comments down below if you have any recommendations on ways to deal with this problem. The next con also has to do with wear and tear, unfortunately, and it is that I have a stain on my handbag. It's not very big, but it's right here, right above where I have placed my finger. It is a small orange line that's about like maybe 1 or 2 centimeters. It's very thin, and I have no idea how I got this stain on my bag. I don't even know what could be orange in, you know, what I have or where I've placed this bag that could be potentially orange. I have tried for the stain to come off and it hasn't. I mean, it isn't the biggest deal because I feel like when you look at the bag overall, you don't see it. Honestly, like it's only because I know that it's there, and it's only because now I'm like obsessed with it. But yeah, otherwise it would be pretty difficult to see that there's a stain on it. It's just, in my mind, it's there and it bothers me. One of the cons of this bag, about the wear and tear more particularly, is that it is hard for me to wash off stains. I feel like, you know, with like Chanel bags or YSL bags that are like caviar or so leather, that makes it a lot easier, and I feel like I've, you know, gotten a good way to like wash them, or like not wash, but to like clean them, you know, with a cleaning cloth, and I have like a whole bunch of like kits of like stuff that I use. But here, because this bag is not leather, it's not working out as nicely as I thought. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. If you have, you know, recommendations on what you do for your own book tote, I would love to hear them, because I'm a little bit iffy about trying new things that I haven't, you know, heard of before. But at the same time, I really want this mark gone. So do let me know in the comments down below if you know what to do, or if you've ever had stains on your book tote and they've come off. I would love to hear how you did that. The good thing, however, is I know that Dior has a very good aftercare program, or whatnot. It's not called a program, but let's just say it is. They have a good aftercare program where I think it's like $300 or $400. They will clean off your bag and it will come out brand new. It's just, for me, it's not really worth it because there's only this one stain. So it's like, it's not worth like $300 to just clean off like one stain and then just this. But that's something that I also wanted to mention, is every time that you buy a bag with them, whether it's, you know, leather or any other material really, they have a really good aftercare program. So if you have color transfer on your bag or some kind of stain or something, it will come off. They have, oh, it's a bag spa. There we go. Not an aftercare program. That sounds like a school, actually, aftercare program. Yeah, so they have a bag spa that will take care of this for you, but it's just, personally, in my case, in this case of the handbag, it's not at this stage yet where it needs to go to the bag spa. But it is something to keep in mind, you know, if you have a bag that has like multiple stains and it has like really big signs of color transfer, then this would be something to consider. Next up, in the cons section, we have the fact that the handbag doesn't have little like cushions at the bottom. So if you see the bottom of the bag, this is the part of the bag that will go on the floor, on the ground, in your car. There aren't these little cushions that exist on some purses. For example, I believe that some sacs de jour that from Yves Saint Laurent have them, and here like that doesn't happen. And I feel like this bag is even more at risk than, you know, a sac de jour, because it's not leather, so it's hard to clean it. And then because mine is like white and gray, there's a lot of potential for stains, for color transfer. So I'm always very, very careful and very wary of like placing my bag on a surface that is unknown. Like it will basically sit like on the passenger seat of my car, and then once I take it out of the car, I'm very careful as to where I place it. So that's something to, you know, keep in mind, because it's not a bag that you will just like place randomly on the floor and be like, okay, it's fine. It is not. It is only because I've been very careful that, you know, the wear and tear doesn't show yet on the bottom part of the bag, but I feel like the addition of cushions would be pretty helpful with this bag. So that's actually it for the cons section. The last thing that I would say is that it needs a bag organizer, because otherwise you will never find your stuff inside. But in my mind, it's not like a huge con, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I will say that for a bag that is 1 year old and that I have used 20 times, for a bag this color, like white and very, you know, light gray, I feel like the condition is still quite amazing. The wear and tear as a whole, if you're looking at the whole bag, I feel like it really doesn't show that it is a year old. I mean, yeah, sure, if you put your, you know, magnifying goggles on the handle and on like the stain, you're gonna be like, oh my god, no. But really, the bag as a whole, I feel like the wear and tear is quite incredible. It really looks very, very new, to me at least. And that's something that I really appreciate about this bag. It is, you know, like I mentioned, my first bag from Dior, but it is also my first like super light, almost white bag. So that was kind of like me dipping a toe in and trying to see if a white bag works for me. And as you can see, I have determined that it does work. I've actually, since then, just recently bought another Dior handbag, and that one is white. So if you're curious to see which one it is and you still haven't seen the unboxing of that new baby, then I will go ahead and leave the link to that video in the little information link over here for you to see it. But yeah, it's only because I've been super satisfied of the wear and tear on this one that I was able to get my new one. So if you are looking at acquiring a Dior Booktote, I would 100% recommend it, because I feel like the pros outweigh the cons, and then really the wear and tear is pretty good. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful if you were thinking about getting this bag. It is one of the best bags that I own. It's actually one of the bags that I show on super duper display in my bag closet. So it is really one of my favorites, especially for spring and summer. I'm so excited to be able to wear it a lot more. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.